Hi, everybody. I'm Gene Valicenti. No court today, so we're going to take this opportunity to kind of recap things. We've done that before. Joining me is our NBC 10 legal analyst, Peter Elikann, who's been following this for us, along with our reporters and our other legal analysts. Peter, welcome in. First off the top, there's no court today because the courtroom was too hot. Am I understanding this right?
Judge Beverly Cannoni said that she knew that it was going to be close to 90 today. They're in that tiny little, it's like a courtroom boutique. It's so cramped. And she said that with the fans and the air conditioning there, they're so loud, nobody would be able to hear the testimony. And she said, since both sides have said we're way, way ahead of schedule on this, it's gone much faster than they assumed. She said, I'm giving everybody the day off tomorrow. Everybody come back on Friday.
Okay. I mean, what is this, like Gregory Peeking in To Kill a Mockingbird? He's going to mop his brow in the hot courtroom, I guess. Although they have air conditioning, it's just too noisy, and they have fans. They're just too distracting. That's a story for another day, but I think there is a story there. Maybe the Commonwealth court system needs an overhaul. All right, this case is moving along, and I've asked you previously, do you expect Karen Read to testify? You told me no. Do you still feel that way?
Yes, I don't think they have anything to gain from having her come on and testify. And like we always say, it's easy to do direct examination when her own lawyers interview her. Then when cross-examination comes in and the prosecutor starts grilling her, perhaps for days at a time, it's like a tap dancer through a minefield. You don't want to take that risk. And it's probably not necessary that she add anything. They're kind of aware of the story and that she, denies hitting him. And so I don't think they really have anything to gain by putting her on the stand. And we have to remember, a lot of people don't realize in criminal trials, something like 98% of the time, they don't have the defendant testify. It's too risky. It's actually very, very rare that the person charged will testify.
You're right. I still think about human nature, though, a jury wondering, well, you have nothing to hide. Why don't you tell me? All right. She has said that maybe she'll wrap up her case. We're in the midst of her case now. Her side presenting its case sometime early next week. Is that a reasonable timetable, you think?
Yeah, it's hard to actually pinpoint it. I think Karen Read actually said they were hoping to wrap it up on Tuesday. Even if it takes a day or two longer, they're really moving, with practically getting whiplash from the speed. Yeah. And they did that during the first trial, too. They were very succinct, to the point, kind of punchy, and got in and out, didn't put in extraneous, witnesses who won't do much. They really just want people who really can make the bullet points and get out of there.
Let's just quickly recap for those who are just joining us, and maybe even those who have been following it. It's always good to just go over things with a review. Out drinking with friends that night. They're in two different places. The party moves to the home in Canton. Karen Read says, I pull up. I tell John to go inside, see if the party's still on. There are no lights on. He gets out of the car, goes in. She sees the door closed behind him. That's the last she sees of him. She's angry, and she drives away because she's so angry at him. And over the course of several hours, she's trying to find him. He's never coming home. And eventually she goes back and finds him in the snow. Is that the case that she's?
Yeah, that would be it in a nutshell. And the case against her is, you must have backed up and hit him, and that's why he's lying there. And her story, and they're trying to bring in evidence that no, it was fine, and there's reason to believe he got beaten up inside the house, and they put him out there. And so those are the battle lines drawn, and the armies are lining up on both sides, and that's both of their stories.
Yeah, it is believable. Sometimes the most simplest of explanations is the one that's correct. It is believable. She was mad. She backed into him, maybe even didn't know she hit him, and left. And that's how he died. Rather than, it was this grand conspiracy, people inside, dirty police officers killed him, threw the body out. What's more believable?
Actually, I would hate to go through this laundry list of evidence on both sides, but there's a lot of arguments on both sides that I think both of them are believable. And the thing is, when you have a case here where we have no proof positive, no smoking gun, we don't have video, we don't have any eyewitness. If you hear two stories from both sides and there's some credibility, and they're both, the experts kind of cancel out each other. There's experts who'll say, no, definitely looks like he was not consistent with being hit by a car. Prosecution's experts say the opposite. If the jury walks away at the end of the day and says, geez, we're scratching our heads, we don't know who's telling the truth here, then the case is not proved beyond a reasonable doubt. And I think that's what the defense is hoping for. I don't know that we'll ever absolutely positively find out what happened here. The question is there too much reasonable doubt? Or do they, the jury believe the prosecution?
At this point, it's reasonable to think there is reasonable doubt. This is our 33rd debrief. So we've been talking about this now for the past month and a half. And I cannot get past the fact that there's a body on the lawn, police are there, there's chaos, there's people screaming. And yet in the house, the owners of the house never wake up. Nobody ever knocks on their door to say, come on, get out, there's something here. Can't get past that. That's reasonable doubt, isn't it?
Yeah, that one is really odd. Even their dog, they have, Chloe, the dog, the German Shepherd, doesn't even bark when there's people screaming. There's lights. Yeah. There's all kinds of first responders and people from the fire department and police department, and they're trying to save his life. And then they're with that kind of crowd in your front lawn. It's not a huge lawn or anything like that. Never even sticks his head out and says what's going on. I mean, that's one of many, many facts that does raise reasonable doubt. And the idea that there was a body on the lawn, and right in front of the house, and the you have just testifying a day or two ago, the plow driver who knows the family well said he drove by there a number of times during the night, did not see anybody out on that lawn in front of the house, and all the people who left that party said that there was a dozen of them as they're walking out, going to the cars. Nobody saw a body, and there wasn't much snow at the time. Yep. So there's a lot of information here that does make her story credible. Then again, prosecution did an excellent job, did the most they could with this story too. And so the question is, do both versions cancel each other out? Well, and that always goes to the favor of the defense.
Well, let's say something in support of the state now. What's the strongest thing in your mind thus far that the state has presented? Simply that body, car, angry driver, in the heat of anger, you hit him and you left him. What's the strongest thing?
Or the Commonwealth, the other thing that they're saying is that they believe she was intoxicated and she could have hit him while intoxicated, which would be enough to make a manslaughter case too. That wouldn't get her off the fact that if she had hit, and wasn't aware of it, you still don't walk away. Well, I didn't know it, so I'm not guilty. They had her making statements, and kind of an evolution to her statement. She was saying that morning when she was looking for him, first of all, she was on the phone and texting for hours all night long. Where are you? How come you're not getting back to me? Are you with another woman? Are you that made it credible that she really didn't know where he was. And yet after a while, she doesn't know where he is, and she's contacting friends. And at some point, she starts saying, "Could I have hit him? Yep. Do you think I hit him? Is that?" And then supposedly, people on the spot said she was going, "Oh, I hit him. I hit him," and she was hysterical and really upset. And that would be evidence, that she might have. That's the prosecution. One of the strong points they have. They also have their forensic people giving reasons why they believe that the car backed up and did strike him. And of course, though, the defense has their forensic people on the other side who saying they're absolutely not consistent with being hit by a car. The fact that you see some marks on the arm, but he flew 30 feet, but there's not any marks on his torso, or so. Both sides have kind of problems. It's a very confusing case. When the trial started, I said to myself, "Gee, I hope that when all the evidence comes out, we really, really know what happened here." And yet, we may never really be able to nail down the story definitely. But there's just reasonable doubt all over the place.
Well, in a sense, you and I have just been deliberating this thing for 10 minutes. And we started with the most important stuff. How far back, or how aggressive do you think the jury is going to peel that onion and get into clocks and black boxes and Alexas and recordings and a whole host of other stuff that was presented? Or is the germ of it what you and I just talked about, and whether it's believable or not? And that's where it's going to end, when they actually get in deliberation room.
I think you hit it on the head. I mean, I was trying to follow a lot of the forensic scientific evidence, and my head was spinning.
Yeah.
And I said, that poor jury, day after day, they're listening. I heard they were a very, very attentive jury. They were, most of them were taking notes the whole time. You're allowed to take notes, and they took it very serious. It's a rather young jury, much younger than the first trial, they said. So they may be a little more computer, tech savvy than maybe I am. But I think at some point it's going to be, is common sense going to kick in? We heard so many versions of this story, and there's so much evidence supporting both sides of particularly of a lot of police misconduct and a shoddy investigation. And I've never seen a case, or rarely, that had this many moving parts to it. It's so complicated with this case.
Peter Elikann, thanks for joining us. So this concludes, I believe, our 33rd debrief. You've been a part of all of them, and you will continue as long as the case continues. For now, I'm Gene Valicenti in the NBC 10 Newsroom. Thanks for joining us. See you on the news.